Tennessee, it's the George Plaster Show, featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famers Kelly Holcomb and young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Well, let's try. Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. Kelly's giving me the thumbs up, so apparently he's there. Let's talk to him as well. Kelly, how are you?
I'm great, George. I'm doing well, man. Just outside watching the torrential downpour. It hadn't rained in months, and now it's just a deluge.
I'd love to say I'm hearing Kelly, but I'm not. So
I hear you.
We're having some little snafus here early, so bear with us. Let me try to bring in Terry McCormick for our daily Titans update. Hello, Professor. How are you?
I'm doing well. Much better than the Titans are, anyway.
Okay, I know you're there, but I'm not hearing Terry at all. And I don't really know how to proceed other than with caution for the moment. Those of you out there listening, bear with us here for just a minute. Hopefully we will get this figured out in due time. Okay,
Terry,
let's
can you hear
try
me?
Terry now. Terry, are
Can
you
you hear
there?
me? Can you hear me now?
Okay, Terry's there, but I'm not hearing him, which is probably not a good thing. Kelly, are you hearing Terry?
I do.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they're hearing him. So, Terry, if you will, talk to Kelly. Tell us about injuries.
Okay. Well, injury really didn't come up much today. All the focus was just on the disaster that was yesterday. Brian, the only thing that was mentioned about injuries, Brian Callahan said that both Kevin Zeitler and J.C. Latham might have a chance to return to the playing field this week, but we will see.
What's going on with the Terry? What's going on with the middle linebackers? I know that they let a guy play yesterday. They just wanted to see what he could do. He felt like, and I saw where Brian Callahan said that he felt like they played hard. But what's going on at the middle linebacker position?
Well, Kazir White, who they signed a couple of weeks ago to the practice squad, had been with the Arizona Cardinals, journeyman guy in his 8th year. They decided to call him up for the game. James Williams was a healthy scratch in the game after a couple of penalties in the first 2 games. So Kazir White comes up, and not only is he on special teams, but he's also getting a look at inside linebacker, kind of dislodging Cedric Gray from the lineup. Same thing happened at corner where they started Jalen Armour-Davis. For a couple of mistakes, they went back to Darrell Baker with Jarvis Brownlee out. It's, really, it's, to me, that's kind of a baffling move. I guess if you're the coaches, you're kind of in self-preservation mode, trying to put the best guys you can out there. But if this is truly about evaluation, I think you got to get yourself a fuller look at Cedric Gray in this matter, because Cedric Gray might be the future for you. He might have some upside, by the end of this year or next year, or whatever. He's under contract for 2 more seasons. And that Kazir White is just a stopgap guy who's taking snaps away from Cedric Gray and James Williams.
Terry, in your opinion, and of course, this has become the water cooler talk all over this area, is this going to get any better this year?
Well, that's the question. That is, right now it doesn't look like it. It looks worse than last year, much worse. I think some of it, everything that's being focused on right now is on Brian Callahan and the clock mismanagement and the field mismanagement he had at the end of the first half. And that's certainly egregious, and that's on him. But this team wasn't competitive, and they've not really been competitive for very much this year. Maybe, for 3 quarters in Denver, maybe 3 quarters against the Rams, but they've not been competitive. And to me, I sent out a tweet yesterday that got a lot of reaction. It said, Will Levis, you are owed an apology, because everything was put at his feet last year because he did not play well as this team's quarterback. But the problems that they have, we're seeing now, were much, much deeper than Will Levis. It's a top to bottom failure. There are, it's players, it's coaches, it's front office, it's scouting, and above all, it's ownership. This thing is off the rails. And to me, in saying that, I don't know that there's a player or a coach out there that could single-handedly fix this. It's going to take a long time to fix this, and they're going to have to find the right front office, the right head coach, the right players. There's really, this team right now, I can't find a single difference maker on this team in a positive way. I can't find one on offense or defense. Maybe Joey Sly on special teams. And, about the only positive you can say is that there is still potential for Cam Ward to be good, but, how long before, the bloom is off that rose if things don't get better?
Terry, obviously, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about it today. Apologize for any of the can we hear each other, all that kind of stuff. Thank you for your patience. We'll do it again tomorrow.
It's okay. We got to hear the full guitar solo of Eddie Van Halen there.
And I'm sure they appreciate that. I'm sure they'll send us royalties. Terry,
Yes.
Thank you. Terry McCormick, Main Street Media and TitanInsider.com. Now, I wasn't able to introduce earlier because it looks like over there drinking out of a fire hose. Might need to adjust the camera a little bit. That is young Parker Kelly, who has been put in the Kroger hot seat today. You can see about 4/5 of him there. Parker, give everybody about a 30-second sort of who you are and how you came to walk into this mess.
Well, George, can you hear me, maybe?
You sound like you're in a tunnel, though, there, Parker. Oh.
Now we're hearing a little bit. Parker, talk to us.
Can y'all hear me now?
No. No.
No.
Okay, we'll get back to you later. I'll do a little bit of an update here because we've gone off the rails. The update is brought to you by our football night in Nashville promotion. Join us at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall this Thursday night as the Seattle Seahawks, I almost said the Supersonics, take on the Arizona Cardinals. So some of you have heard this story. If you haven't, get ready because it's pretty surprising. Bruce Pearl resigning at Auburn today after 11 years on the job. His son, Stephen, is now getting the job and apparently receiving a 5-year contract as the program's new head coach. I do wonder, Kelly, about the timing. The timing was going to be goofy no matter when it happened, but you wonder if it was to force the school to hire Stephen.
I don't know. That's what you when I heard that, I was quite shocked about that. But yeah, I would think that would put them in a position right now because, basketball season's right around the corner and I'm sure they've already started stuff. So, yeah, that kind of puts a AD and a school behind the 8 ball, and I think that's probably I don't know. I can't say that. Who knows? But that seems a little suspicious, and it seems like that may be the thoughts on Bruce Pearl right there to get his son in there.
Let me say this. There are rumors all over the place about it. One being, and this one's been out here for months, and I have not tossed this one aside, that Bruce Pearl ends up going into politics. That would not shock me at all. Kelly, he's a different Bruce Pearl than when I first got to know him. And I say that I had a conversation with him when they were in town in February. And some of it was about the fact that when my dad was about to pass away, that Bruce at halftime of a game turns to me and says, I know what's going on with your dad. I met him. He's a good man. We talked about that in February, and his comment to me was, there are a lot of people watching us right now who have no idea what's going on. And, there are more important things in life than these silly little games. The other rumor that's out there is that he's going to become the next AD at Auburn. And I don't doubt that one either.
No, that would be a good fit for him. I think he would be really good at it. And he's just energetic. He's been around for a long time, and I would not doubt that. I wouldn't doubt what you said earlier, though. He going the Tommy Tuberville route, getting into politics, man. I think he would be really good at that too. So I don't know what it is about the state of Alabama, but they get these coaches to become politicians. There you go.
Yeah. Item number 2 involves Nick Bosa from the San Francisco 49ers. I happened to see the injury live yesterday, so I'm not surprised. Their worst fears have happened. Torn ACL in his right knee, out for the season. By the way, that game against Arizona, you talk about this level of razor's edge between the two teams. That's a bad loss right there. San Fran won the game but lost the war.
Yeah, I think it was like 9-6, was it not? It was a field goal battle.
16-13.
Oh, is that what it was? 16-13. But yeah,
I take that back. Arizona almost won the game on a safety. But
maybe I saw
didn't
that
happen.
earlier because I saw where it was 9-6, I guess, at some point. So I was like, good Lord, they're kicking field goals. But I think Mac Jones played pretty well. I know that Brock Purdy's hurt. It seems like the last couple of years, George, that San Fran has had the injury bug and they just can't get over it. They're losing key players.
Meanwhile, in Dallas, CeeDee Lamb, high ankle sprain, left ankle, going to be out, it looks like 3 to 4 weeks. If you saw the injury live, and a lot of you in our area did because it was the game on television, it looked nasty. Why they had him in a running back position, which is where the injury happened, is beyond me.
That's once again, we talk about it all the time with the Jerry Jones and the dysfunctionality out there. It's just they're not very good, and you just every time he gets hit or he takes off running, you just hold your breath if you're a Cowboys fan because at some point he's probably going to get hurt again.
Meanwhile, this one came out of a press conference earlier today at Oklahoma State, which has died on the vine, got beat by Oregon 69-3 earlier this year, and then lost to Tulsa Friday night in a national TV game. Mike Gundy asked if he intended to remain at Oklahoma State after this year, said 100%, addressed what he called fair questions over his future. Kelly, I'm not convinced he'll be around.
Yeah, I don't think you can. He's been there so long, George. You don't see guys like that much anymore. You don't see the Paternos or the Bear Bryant staying at one place for so long. But it seems like his time has kind of run out at Oklahoma State because whatever he's doing, the kids are not listening. I don't know. And they had a lot of money there, too, to spend on this NIL stuff, I'm sure. They used to. Now, I don't know about now, but they don't look very good. And when you get beat by Tulsa and then you get smacked by Oregon like they did at the beginning of the year, that can't be good. And the morale's got to be really low at Oklahoma State right now.
And finally, the ACC has fined Syracuse $25,000 and publicly reprimanded the school. Shame on you. For faking injuries in their victory against Clemson, the ACC calling the actions unethical and contrary to the spirit of the rules. In a related note, Oklahoma came in runner-up.
In another note, who cares?
You know what? You're probably right about that. Okay, after the break, we'll get into our Titans analysis. It's not going to be very pretty, but what would you expect? This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling. They enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun. Fair.
At Wilson Bank and Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank and Trust, here to get you there. Member
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. 838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision Centers. Recently, you've been talking to me about companies that have a fleet of trucks and they're always in need of repairs.
That's right, George. We understand that nobody likes to deal with the auto body repair process. We try to simplify that at our 3 convenient locations. We work with all major insurance companies. We help to ease the stress of the auto body repair process. We're located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. If you need our services, please stop by and see us.
And how convenient that we have that in the background. Now, seriously, these are good folks. They do really good work. Give them a holler.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Is replacing Billy Derrick, who is, after 3 years, moving on to other things, did a great job in his 3 years. Parker, you're learning how good a job he did at the end, because all that stuff back there is crazy.
Absolutely. My respect for Billy has went up to another level. I think we got it all figured out, though. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Okay. Fingers absolutely crossed. Give people about 30, 45 seconds of your past history and how you're sitting in this chair.
Absolutely. So I work at 102.5 The Game as well, and I found out on Monday that I would be taking over for Billy. Very happy to do so, but it has been a quick turnaround. And like Kelly, I'm also a former quarterback. I played at Concordia in Chicago, Division III school. So I'm so excited for football talk.
Bring Kelly up here. Let's see. Kelly, I think tomorrow I'm going to pair the two of you all in a little bit of quarterback comparison kind of stuff. How about that?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
What do you mean quarterback comparison? You mean we're talking about other? Are we talking about ourselves?
We're going to talk about Cam Ward and what the two of you all think. Both of you have played the position. I retired as a quarterback in 5th grade.
You never played quarterback.
No, I did play quarterback.
Look at your body, and you can tell that you never played quarterback.
Same to you.
And here's the deal, Parker. Don't worry about it because you don't have very high expectations to follow with the guy that just left. So don't worry about
As I've heard.
Wow. Okay, Parker, if you will put the graph up of positives and negatives, and you'll find out my level of disgust with what is going on right now with the Tennessee Titans. Most of you know, big loss yesterday, really not very competitive, and no graphic?
No graphic.
No graphic. Okay, well, we're moving right along. So, Kelly, here's what I put down as positives. I think it is the best uniform combination that they have. The light blue with the white pants. I think honoring Mike Keith yesterday was probably the highlight of the day, and very happy for that, and very happy for the kind of ovation he got, which was fabulous. On the field, I listed by default Alec Manor. Those are my positives. There's nothing to be positive about.
Well, George, they're struggling right now. It's really hard for me to watch, too. I'll be honest with you. I've been on bad football teams. They're a bad football team right now, and I keep talking about it. And I know you're going to go over to the negatives, but they've got to quit making mistakes like they're making. I mean, that's self-inflicted wounds that they keep on doing to themselves. They get behind the chains. They're not a team that can get behind the chains right now, George. If they do, they just can't make a first down. And Ross Tucker was one of the guys doing the game. I was actually a teammate of Ross Tucker's in Buffalo, and he's absolutely right. He said, the Tennessee Titans are very bad right now. And he said, when you allow yourself to keep making these mistakes, you jump off sides, you have holding penalties, you have pass interference deals, you're just giving the other team who's already better than you are, you're just helping them out even more. So it's just hard to watch, George. It's amazing to me, though, that the Indianapolis Colts go out and they get Daniel Jones, and Coach Cutcliffe has talked about him. He coached him at Duke, and the kid he loves him. And Coach Cutcliffe is one of the last guys, in my opinion, that coaches quarterbacks, and he coaches them the right way. And he talked about Daniel Jones. He talked about the dysfunction that he had with the New York Giants, but they let him go. They let Saquon Barkley go. Saquon Barkley wins a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now they've let Daniel Jones, and he is playing unbelievably right now. He's in the right offense. The Steichen guy is giving him everything that he needs. He came from Philadelphia, but he is on point right now with throwing the football. He's got a lot of confidence. He's got a good offensive line. He's got guys that can, he's got a great running back in Jonathan Taylor. He's got guys outside that can get his balls, and they're playing really good right now. They're up there as one of the best teams in the National Football League, and it's amazing that you go to New York and he doesn't do anything, and then he gets a new location, he gets a new address, and now he's lighting it up with the Indianapolis Colts, and they're doing the things that he can do, and I'm telling you, he looks really good doing it.
So, Kelly, as you know, Brian Callahan has come in for a lot of criticism, and there's only so long people can use he's the nice guy. He's a nice guy. He's a nice man. And the but here appears to be that in Cincinnati, he never called plays. Right. He's made clear that as the head coach here, that he's going to call plays. And yet what really is going on is his lack of game management skills is making him look stupid, and it's hurting this football team. I mean, twice in the first 3 games, you've got decisions by a head coach that at the end of a first half are costing them dearly. This can't go on.
Yeah, I was just shaking my head yesterday because we all know in the first game what he did, and he allowed a touchdown for the other team. And then yesterday, when the opposing team calls a timeout, okay, then you've got to get your guys over there and you got to get fixated on what you're doing, and and you got to be clear about what you want on the field. And yesterday, obviously, he wasn't. And then he calls a timeout with the clock not running, and then they get a delay of game call. That's really bad, George. And at that point, right there, I know you like Joy Sly, and he's been one of the bright spots on the team. I think the dude can kick it from out of the. I think he can kick it out of the stadium. But it got. I think it got partially blocked yesterday. But at that point right there, you got to give in and say, hey, right now this is not going well, and I don't see this kick going well. Just punt it away, and make those guys make the Colts go all the way down the field. You give it to them. And it's not where the ball is spotted now, it's where the holder sits the ball. And when you miss the field goal, the ball it gets spotted right there. So that was just I don't know what he's thinking on that. I just think that he got himself into a situation that he said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be hard-headed about it. I think Joy Sly can make it. And he didn't. And then you gave the Indianapolis Colts a lot of momentum going into the locker room. And I just don't think with the way that they're playing right now and the team that they have, you cannot afford to do stuff like that. And that's two really bad snafus he's had in the first 3 games, George. And I've always said this, and I know some guys can do it. Andy Reid did it for a long time. I know some people can call plays and be the head coach. But when you're managing people and you're trying to manage the game, I think it's too much. That's just me. And I know reading all the articles, I know that he talked about everybody's being evaluated, all the players, all the coaches. I'm included in that. And somebody asked him about his play calling, and he said, we're evaluating everything, including me. I just think that right now, it's too hard for head coaches to call plays. It really is, in my opinion, even at the college level. Even sometimes at the high school levels nowadays with some of these high school programs that are getting really big, I just think it's too hard. You have to manage people. You have to manage certain situations in the game. And right now, those 2 snafus that he's had that are not very good just shows you that maybe he need to relinquish that and let somebody else call plays.
can't have that. And so, that's to me, something's got to give here. And Callahan, if he wants to call plays, he clearly is not at a point where he can control a game. Anything about that not true?
Yeah, I think you're talking about. You went in and out on me, George, but yeah, I just I'm going to go back to what I said, man. I just think it's hard for coaches in the National Football League, the head coaches, to call plays. I don't. I think you have to manage the game, manage situations. Some guys can do it, some guys can't, and I'm just not. I'm not sure that he's ready for that just yet. And I think that's just too much on his plate. And I think in those 2 out of 3 games, I think he's shown that.
Okay, let me then go to clearly that's a negative. And the longer this head coach costs this team, the louder the criticism of him is going to get. And when he says that everybody is being, critiqued, everybody is being evaluated, that's bullcrap. It's not true. Because if we're evaluating Brian Callahan, somebody's got to step in and say, either you call the plays and we get somebody else in there to manage the clock because you're incapable of doing both, or you give up play calling, somebody else becomes the play caller, and you handle game management. Yes?
Everybody on the team now has those analytical guys and those guys that are going through all those situations. I'm sure the Titans have one. You have to you have to be in the coach's ear and telling them, hey, here's what's going on. I think this is what we need to do. Like the other day, that was he's got to put his ego aside. And I think, like I said, I think he got a little stubborn, and I think he said, well, Joey Sly can kick this thing. But you got to think about where they are and what they just had happen. They had not gotten what they wanted in the timeout that the coach called. They had to call their own timeout to try to get, and then they delay a game. Like, it's already going bad, George. At some point, you got to throw the white flag up and say, hey, you know what? Let's just punt this ball. And if the Colts get it and they make it all the way down the field, then let's make them earn it. Let's don't give it to them at midfield where all they got to do is make one first down and they're in field goal range, which is exactly what happened. They couldn't stop them at all. So I think every team has to do that. And I think, yeah, if you're the general manager, if you're the guys up above that, and you talk to Brian Callahan all the time, I think you got to sit down and you have to talk about that and say, hey, this is not going well. You're not making right decisions at key moments in the game. We have to think about doing something else.
So under the negatives that I have listed, look, Helen Keller can figure this out. They haven't got any pass rush. And I don't pretend to believe that Sweat and his injury situation is the only reason they don't have a pass rush. They haven't had a pass rush for a year and a half. And Kelly, that puts not only a lot of pressure on your defensive coordinator to figure out, okay, when do I blitz and force the issue, but it also takes those young cornerbacks and it puts them on an island, and that's not a winning recipe.
No, it is not. And T'Vondre Sweat's he's a space eater inside there. You have to take multiple guys to block him. He's great in the run game. Plus, you can solo guys up on the outside. And you're right, George. They just have not had a decent pass rush, and that's why Denard Wilson he's got to come up with all these elaborate situations where he can bring guys. And you hate having to do that. I can remember when Monty Kiffin was the defensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Bucks, and they had Simeon Rice and Warren Sapp and all those guys on the edge. They could get pressure with just 4 guys, and then they could play coverage in the backfield, and that's what you want. But when you start having to bring guys in so you can make it uneasy on the quarterback instead of using those 4 guys up front, now the guys that are outside are having to man stuff up, and I don't know if they're there yet. I mean, L'Jarius Sneed has been a good corner, but he's been hurt. You have to have guys that can cover if you're going to do that, and once again, I'm going to say this. I just don't think the Titans are ready for that.
The penalties.
Oh.
Okay, it was double digits each of the first two games. It's 8 for 68 yards this time around, which is closer to acceptable.
That's better.
It's better. That's all it is better.
Well, but when you're playing, when you can't protect your quarterback, which they can't do right now, when they're ahead of the chain, say they're 1st and 10, they get 4 yards, or 2nd and 6. Okay, now you're even with the chains. But when you get a holding call, or when something happens and you get an illegal procedure call, you're putting yourself in a bad situation where it's hard enough to get 10 yards in the National Football League, especially for Cam Ward and the offense right now. They cannot be behind the chains because they're shot plays, their good plays have been when he's been able to get out of the pocket, when he can flash that ball to Tony Pollard, then he can run a naked. He can get himself and buy himself some time. When the defense knows that the Tennessee Titans are going to be in a for sure passing situation, they're in trouble because they cannot protect him. Right now, Terry talked about it. Calvin Ridley's dropping the ball. They don't have really a main go-to guy that they can go to. And you feel, I think, and I'm going to say this again, George. I said this about Will Levis because I didn't really trust him. I didn't think about him. And I know Terry said, well, there's a lot of people apologizing, but I think Cam Ward is a really good player. I think he's going to be a really good player, but you have to have people around him. And he's making mistakes right now. Every quarterback that has played the position had the first interception that he threw for a touchdown. You're looking around. That time's going off in your head. You know you got to get rid of the football, and your eyes are jumping around trying to find somebody. He probably didn't see that guy. He did not see that guy because there's guys in front of you sometime that block your vision. He didn't know that. You never throw a pass late out into the flat. I've done it. Dan Marino's done it. Brett Favre's done it. Everybody's done it. So that's just one of those mistakes. But until you get people around him, he's not going to be able to show. And he has nobody really to throw the ball to, George. It's kind of bewildering to me. I think the IU Manor and I think the DK kid are going to be pretty good. I think they're the bright spots. I think when we talk about a draft class and we talk about how they've been bad in the draft classes the last decade, I think these two young men, I think Cam Ward, I think these guys are going to be successful. I really do. I think that's a positive that you look at. But right now, he just does not have people up front that can keep the defense off of him.
So give me a yes or a no. Do you think this is going to get any better this year?
No. I think they're going to be competitive in some games, but I really don't. I don't see it. Like, where's your roster? You have nobody like, Terry's talked about it. Like
right.
Jeffrey Simmons is the biggest name on your roster, and he's a good player. But, like, there's nobody – like Cam Ward, you drafted him number 1 overall. Now he's got to show it, but he's got to have people around him to show it. And I don't see it getting any better, George. Now, maybe there's some things – I know one thing that they've got to get better at is the mistakes. They cannot keep having these penalties because they're not good enough to overcome those penalties. If they stop having the holding calls and the illegal procedure calls and all that stuff offensively and they can stay in front of the chains – they're going to be in some games. I don't know if they can win those games, but you can't keep helping the other team who's better than you are more than likely. You can't keep helping them because you're bad.
Okay, stop there. Kelly, after the break, guess what we're doing?
I'm sure my top 12, which good gracious.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what we're doing again?
We
Thanks,
will reveal
George.
And then probably take a few pot shots. Either way.
I get anxiety ridden every time you text me about that. I thought about that last night. I said, George is going to be texting me about this top 12 at some point. And I was like, I hope he forgets.
Not going to happen. Top 12 in college football is coming up on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision. This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision Centers. Recently, you've been talking to me about companies that have a fleet of trucks and they're always in need of repairs.
That's right, George. We understand that nobody likes to deal with the auto body repair process. We try to simplify that at our 3 convenient locations. We work with all major insurance companies. We help to ease the stress of the auto body repair process. We're located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. If you need our services, please stop by and see us.
And how convenient that we have that in the background. Now, seriously, these are good folks. They do really good work. Give them a holler. Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our football night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a race and sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. Here's Officer Garen Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join mnpd.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. The George Plaster Show gets advertisers the results they're looking for. For example, here's Metro Nashville Police Officer Garen Hoskins.
You hear me all the time on the show talk about changes in career, people looking to serve their community and get into law enforcement and join a great department. And I just so happened to meet an individual who heard my segment on your show, has already applied, has come from multiple different career paths, and has always had this dream. And we're very glad to have them. That's just going to be the start of many.
If you want to be part of the Plaster Show advertising family, it's simple. Just email me, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Again, plastergeorge@gmail.com. We will fit your budget and your needs.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
We are back Monday afternoon with a lot of reaction, not all of it positive. In fact, not much of it thus far has been very positive. But let's turn to the college football ranks. Kelly, your 1 through 12 has a lot of what people would expect. You have, and I'm just going to go 1 through 4 here at the beginning. Ohio State, Miami, Penn State, LSU. That's your 1 through 4. This Miami football team's a load.
And they're a load because I've talked about it for 3 weeks in a row. They're good up front on both sides of the ball. They can move people. Like and Carson Beck the other night, he didn't look like the first 2 game Carson Beck. He looked like the guy last year that was kind of lost. And I don't know where that came from. I saw some of the throws. I don't know if he wasn't mentally focused. I'm sure he was. But here's the deal now. Florida's defense is pretty good. Offensively, they struggle, but Florida's defense is pretty good. But he looked like he reverted back to last year before he got injured at Georgia. So I don't know, but here's what's good about Miami. I think they're built right. I think Mario Cristobal has done a good job, and I think if he gets in trouble, I think they can move people and they can run the football. So I think they're going to be in it till the end. I really do. Now they could slip up. Every team could slip up because I think there's somewhere. I think there's a level playing field in college football, and I think we're seeing it now with all this NIL stuff and the transfer portal. I think it's evening itself out, and they can slip up. I mean, it's getting a lot like the NFL, and if you're not ready and you're not focused each week, you can get meat. But I think they're one of the teams that's probably going to be there at the end.
Your 5 through 8 are Georgia, Oregon, Florida State, Oklahoma, meaning that we've got 2 of the top 8 playing each other this week. Penn State in the nighttime whiteout game against Oregon. That will be really something. Oklahoma, to me, when I watched them, first of all, and we're going to talk about this to start the 4 o'clock hour, I have not seen a college football team get screwed over as bad as Auburn did on Saturday. It just kept happening over and over and over. The conference should be embarrassed and ashamed, not only for the big call, but Kelly, there are 2 or 3 others. I came away on Oklahoma going, I'm not sure about them.
Yeah, but I think I think everybody that's got a good, and I think that Mateer kid, I don't know how good he is. I mean, I think he can throw the football, but he's going to experience some better defenses, and some Auburn's defense is really good. I think that he's going to experience some more of that in the Southeastern Conference, but I think he's not going to lose the game for you. I think he's a heady kid. I think he's a competitor. I think he can run the ball. That's why I kind of like Oklahoma. I think defensively they're pretty good. I will say this. I think they got screwed on a couple of calls, but it seems like Hugh Freeze has those kind of teams. That's just me. It seems like at certain points they kind of melt down, and they had some bad calls the other day go against them, but they had a lot of things go against them because of them. So I just sometimes I feel that way about Hugh Freeze and his teams.
So your 9 through 12 are A&M, Indiana, University of Texas, and Ole Miss. And let me start with Ole Miss. I thought Tulane would give them a battle. Maybe I got to admit that Ole Miss might be considerably better than I've thought they are.
I think they are, George. But who knows? We don't really know yet. And I thought Tulane would be a little bit better. I didn't think that they would come close. Obviously, they didn't. But I think you could put TCU up there. I think you could put. We got to find out. We're going to find out, obviously, about Alabama again because they've already lost one. They got to go to Athens this week. So we're really going to find out about them. You could put them there. I think TCU with that Hoover kid, that's their quarterback, I think he's really good. Now, I am going to say this. This was my underdog pick. That Indiana quarterback may be the best in the country. I watched him the other night, that Mendoza kid that transferred from Cal. That kid can play right there. He was 19 to 20 the week before. Like in the first half, I think he only missed 3 passes. Illinois had no answers. He's getting taught the position of quarterback. And I think they might be a surprise because watching him, he doesn't run around. He uses his brain. He gets rid of the football. He don't hold on to it. Man, I think they're going to be something up in the next coming weeks, George. I really do, and I think they can hang with Ohio State, with Penn State, I think they can play with these teams, and it's going to be interesting to see. Now, I could be off my rocker, but we'll see.
So you've got 3 monster matchups this coming weekend, starting with Penn State, Oregon. Whiteout game in Happy Valley. That's one right off the bat, a rematch of last year's Big Ten title game. Georgia and Alabama from Athens. Yeah, Alabama's not going to be in anybody's top 12 at the moment, but this is their chance to get back in with a win at Georgia. Who knows whether it happens. And the third one, the one that I am really now intrigued about, LSU goes to Ole Miss in a game where going into the season, I'm not sure I thought Ole Miss was ready for this. But you know what? They might be.
Don't be surprised. Lane Kiffin, don't be surprised if he pulls one out here.
Crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy. It's enjoyable to watch, man. Now, here's the deal. I don't like watching all this running around from quarterbacks. That's why I thoroughly enjoyed watching the Mendoza kid play the other night. I didn't thoroughly enjoy him beating my underdog pick by, like, I don't know how. It was ridiculous. I turned it off, but like watching him play, kick and play, and he's accurate.
Not everybody lost, and some
I know.
Some who won were mocked.
Great pick, George. Great pick.
Lucky. Very lucky. But congratulations to Memphis. That's a hell of a win over the Arkansas Razorbacks. Okay, when we come back, we're going to get into some serious college football talk, including the Auburn situation. They got hosed. And Billy Napier, what's his future at Florida? This is the George Plaster Show.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
Brought to you by Window Nation. Get 2 free windows when you buy 2 at windownation.com.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bovis looking at the forecast going toward the afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms likely on and off throughout this afternoon into the evening, and there is a low-end threat. The damaging wind could be with 1 or 2 of these storms. Highs in the upper 80s.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
When you're all in for game day, Electronic Express has you covered with the largest selection of in-stock TVs and home theater systems that put you right in the action. And feed your game day crowd with a grill built for tailgating at home, fridges that keep the drinks cold, and dishwashers that make cleanup easy. Shopping local has its perks too, like free delivery and up to 24 months interest-free financing. Whatever you need to make game day a winner at the guaranteed lowest prices, we've got that. Visit us in-store or at electronicexpress.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Consider yourself a bourbon connoisseur? At Twin Peaks, they're proud to offer an exclusive and extensive collection of incredibly rare bourbons, whiskeys, and tequilas. Check out their barrel selects that are handpicked and bottled just for you. Supply is limited. Cheers.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
Hey guys, it's Mike from Newton Chevrolet in Russellville. You know about our car care giveaway, right? Well, did you know we have a second giveaway for every person who buys a new vehicle from us? It's our free lifetime warranty. That's right. It covers your engine and transmission for as long as you own your car at absolutely no cost to you. It's the ultimate peace of mind. This September, get a chance to win free oil changes and get a warranty for life. That's how we help you change your experience. Come see us today or shop online with Newton FastPass.
The George Plaster Show gets advertisers the results they're looking for. For example, here's Metro Nashville police officer Garen Hoskins.
You hear me all the time on the show talk about changes in career, people looking to serve their community and get into law enforcement and join a great department. And I just so happened to meet an individual who heard my segment on your show, has already applied, has come from multiple different career paths, and has always had this dream. And we're very glad to have him. That's just going to be the start of many.
If you want to be part of the Plaster Show advertising family, it's simple. Just email me, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Again, plastergeorge@gmail.com. We will fit your budget and your needs.
The wait is over. The largest sports book in Kentucky is now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs. Feel the rush of every play in a venue built for sports fans. Catch all your favorite games with an 80-foot screen, stadium-style seating, and live daily broadcasts from VSiN, the sports betting network. Plus, download the Circa Sports Kentucky mobile app today and start betting like a pro anywhere in Kentucky. The largest sports book in Kentucky, Circa Sports, is now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
Ponce Law is the only personal injury law firm with the Crash Cam Network. Powered by Roadproof, capturing accident footage on highways across Middle Tennessee. Injured in an accident? Call Ponce Law. We offer a no-fee guarantee, and for over 30 years, we've been helping injured people just like you. We've been voted best law firm multiple times. I'm Michael Ponce, and we want to hear your story. Call us today at 615-244-4321. Ponce Law, justice for all.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
You say yes, I say no. You say stop, and I say go.
Our stat of the day is brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. So as I was scrolling through some of the stats that happened over the course of the college football weekend, I came across an interesting stat for the Clemson Tigers. Now, a lot of people have been piling on Dabo Swinney about not using the transfer portal. Listen to this stat. So Clemson losses to unranked teams from 2012 to 2020. Clemson has 2 losses to unranked teams. From 2021 to 2025, as a whole, Clemson has 8 losses to unranked teams.
Nice.
Is that a question?
No, that is the stat of the day. So Clemson losses to unranked teams in the last 4 years, 8.
Hold on a second. Stat of the day is a question so that Billy used to be able to make Kelly and I look bad with a little help from Ty.
Okay.
Okay,
that we can answer.
But I kind of like the fact, Kelly, that today we weren't totally put on the griddle.
I'm good with that. I am. I mean, that was a good stat of the day there, Parker, but we usually answer that question, which, hey, I'm good with for one day.
For one
so
day.
That means we get it.
One day
so
free
we're
pass.
we're one for one.
It won't be that way tomorrow.
No, it's a question.
Okay.
It's a question. And I think Ty is in the middle of that. He has some out there questions. Okay,
Yes, he
anyway.
does.
We welcome all of you into hour number 2 of the show. As you can tell, we are not at the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. The Predators are continuing with training camp, which we hope is going to go really positive. We'll be back in there at some point next week. We are at the Homestead, and we welcome all of you in. Let's get to the business at hand. Kelly, explain to me exactly what it was that Oklahoma did and tried to do in the deception touchdown against Auburn.
I don't know how I feel about that. I feel that that's so jank and so it's not an ethical deal right there. I think that you have to use something like that to beat a team that you're not sure that you can beat. And they were talking about it on the broadcast, George. Like it should have been flagged, but you get into a situation as referees where I don't know if they totally figured out what was going on, but they saw it and they didn't want to make that call, especially at Oklahoma. I just think I don't know, man. The guy's running off the field and then he steps back onto the field. And when you do stuff like that, you do deviant stuff like that, George, I'm just not a fan of it. I know sometimes you have to because you can't. You have to have a fake player. You have to have something like that. But that's a means of deception right there. And I don't feel good about it. I hope they didn't feel good about it, but it scored them a touchdown. And, when you're playing and when you get an easy, cheap touchdown like that, nobody really cares. I know if I were playing and we did something like that, I think, hey, we got a touchdown. But when you do something like that, it just feels like that you're not you don't feel good about your chances of winning the game. And I thought the referees should have called it, George. I don't like doing stuff like that. Let's settle it on the field and let's don't have deception like that. But hey, it fooled Auburn. They got an easy, quick touchdown out of it. I didn't like it, but hey, so it goes.
So a couple of things in it. Number one, because I watched the game pretty closely, Oklahoma couldn't run the football.
No. Well, Auburn's defense is really good,
It's
George.
very good.
They're very good. They're good up front. They're always good up front, but they got get DBs. I wish they would keep their hands to themselves, but every DB does that nowadays. But defensively, they're really good.
So I want to read for a second. According to the NCAA rulebook, no simulated replacements or substitutions may be used to confuse opponents. This includes any hideout tactic with or without a substitution. Such a play would draw a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Right.
When asked about the play, ESPN college football rules analyst Matt Alston felt a penalty should have been called. Okay, so the SEC's come out and said, this shouldn't have happened. It's unethical, whatever. So is that a scenario where a commissioner needs to call a head coach and say, look, I'm not going to have this?
I don't know, George. Maybe. I don't like the deception stuff. I really don't. Now, there's all kind of ways you can do it with different formations. Bill Belichick did it years ago where he, you got to know, and you have to know the rules now, because sometimes guys on the line of scrimmage are not eligible and all this. And as a defense, you have to figure all that stuff out. But that right there, I just it totally fooled the Auburn defense, and they're looking around. They're like, this guy went off the field. So I think it should have been called, but you bring a human aspect into it, George. Like, I think the referees probably thought it should be called, but you're going to take a touchdown away from Oklahoma at their place.
What does that got to do with it? I mean, you're an official officiating both sides. I mean, that's not an answer.
I'm just saying, George. I just think that sometimes the human element comes into it, and they even said that on the broadcast. I don't know if that happened, and I'm with you. I don't think that should be part of it, but I think they should have called I do. I think they should have called a flag on it, because it's total deception. You take a guy off the field and then you bring him back on, and you get him like an inch on the field. But I'm just saying, like, referees right there, like, you're going to get, like, nowadays with stuff going on with referees, they get guarded. People guard them after the game. And if you make a play like that, man, you're going to get pummeled when you're going out of the stadium. I don't know if that would have happened. I didn't like it. But to me, that comes into play sometimes.
Wow. Well, let me say this. Where I'm going with it, I guess, is, and you and I may be interpreting this differently.
Yeah.
I believe Auburn got screwed to the level that if they had not, they win in Norman, Oklahoma. I believe they were the better team, not by much, but I believe they were the better team. And look, I am no Hugh Freeze fan whatsoever. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. But Auburn got royally hosed.
I have to agree with you on that, George. I don't like agreeing with you, but I have to, because I think Auburn is a really good football team. I think Jackson Arnold, for me, all the running around. I mean, I know he played at Oklahoma last year. He went to Auburn. That's the kind of guy Hugh Freeze wants. He wants a guy that can throw it, that can run around, make plays. But yesterday, when he had those 10 sacks, and it was a school record for Oklahoma, that's a lot on him. You got to get rid of the football. You can't defensively. Oklahoma's really good. They got guys that can rush the passer. Get rid of the football and don't put your offense in those situations. Like, if he makes that throw to the Coleman kid, I think it was a hook and go. Like, if he makes that throw, I mean, it's a different ball game. So they got hosed on some calls. I believe you're right. Like, if they don't make that, like, they weren't doing anything running the ball. You're absolutely right, George. They could not run the ball. I think that's why they had to go to John Mateer and running the quarterback, because you even things up with that. But man, the deception thing, I just thought it was an evenly matched game. Maybe Auburn was a little bit better. You're going into Oklahoma, but they got hosed a couple of times, and that really showed in the outcome of the game.
So, Parker, you watched it. This was a big deal for Jackson Arnold returning to Oklahoma, and I'm sure he heard all the cat calls before the game. Did that play into his performance at all?
I honestly don't think it did. I thought Jackson Arnold looked really, really solid. He's been a great runner since he got to Oklahoma last year, and that's what won the Baylor game for him, was Jackson Arnold's ability to run the football. What hurt him was he wasn't able to throw the football, and that's not going to be a sustainable way for Auburn to win going forward. They have to be able to throw the ball. But when you have guys like Cam Coleman out there and Eric Singleton, aliens like that on the outside, just throw it up. Let them go get it. Let them be playmakers.
Yeah.
But your belief is that Auburn's offensive line is totally to blame for the 10 sacks, and Jackson Arnold holding it too long is none of it?
Who is it that says, I think it's Sean McVay that says sacks are a quarterback stat, which I partly agree with and partly disagree with. It's not all the offensive line's fault. Auburn has one of the deepest offensive lines in the SEC. However, Arnold did hold the ball way too long a majority of the time. So I'd pin most of the sacks on Arnold. He's got to know when to get rid of it. But the offensive line was to blame, I'd say, for about 4 of those. So it's not like it's one or the other. It was both.
If you know what you're doing, though, and you know this, Parker, being a quarterback, of course, I played for a long time, but if you know what you're doing, your guys don't have to protect very long. Now, sometimes you're going to get fooled, and sometimes the guys that you're playing against, what the Titans are experiencing right now, the guys you're playing with, when they man you up, sometimes you have to hold the ball a little longer. But Jackson Arnold, like there were times where he took a sack, and then they showed the camera angle behind him, and there were guys that are open. And there's some hook routes that are open, those little 5-yard stick routes. You got to throw that ball. And I just thought he put his offense in bad situations. But just like the play to the Coleman kid, you've got to make that throw. Don't try to be perfect on it. Just throw it up like you're talking about. You got some bad dudes outside, and Hugh Freeze has talked about this is probably his best receiving core that he's ever had. Just throw it up and let those guys have a 50-50 ball, and more than likely they're going to come down with it because they're such good players.
Okay, let's go to Florida now. And let me say this on the front end. Whatever level of criticism that you want to throw at Florida, also remember that they have just gotten through playing back-to-back road games against 2 of the most athletic defenses in the country in LSU and Miami. That said, it feels like DJ Lagway, that there's been some regression in him. I don't know if it's lack of confidence, if it's conservative play calling, I don't know. But I want both of you all to give me your thoughts on a guy that I think has a lot of talent, but suddenly less than midway through his second year, he is struggling. Parker, go.
I think it's the play caller, Billy Napier. I think he's putting his young quarterback in a position to not be successful. Kind of the same thing with Brian Callahan and Cam Ward. Through the first 3 games for Florida, they were throwing the ball over 50% of the time. When you have running backs like Jaden Ball, you have guys on the outside, Eugene Wilson, Dallas Wilson. Same thing with Auburn. Florida has one of the deepest offensive lines in the SEC. If you can tell that your quarterback is struggling and his head is spinning, kind of like mine was in the first hour, right? If you can tell that DJ Lagway's head is spinning, don't have him throw the ball so much. When you have guys like that, just throw it up or hand the ball off. Jaden Ball was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. Give the ball to your running back and let your offensive line pave the way. I don't see what's so hard for Billy Napier to understand in that aspect.
George, it's I love the phrase that Tony Basilio last week. It's the Joes versus pros, and the Joes are winning out right now because the Joes have not felt entitled. They hadn't been given anything. The Haynes King, I know you love that. He's a fighter. He's a worker. DJ Lagway. When you come in, and I said this about Lamar Jackson a long time ago, Lamar Jackson's finally learned how to play the quarterback position. He can throw the ball. I enjoy watching him play. He's a joystick. He makes those guys in the National Football League look silly because they can't tackle him. But DJ Lagway, when you're getting all these athletes coming into college and they can run around, you have to teach them how to play the position of quarterback. And I love Tom Brady was on YouTube the other day, and I think he was on Colin Cowherd's show, and he was talking about, I forget who they were talking about, but he was like, you're assuming, Tom Brady said to Colin Cowherd, he said, you're assuming that these people know how to teach quarterbacks. He said there's not many of them out there left that know how to teach a quarterback how to play the position of quarterback. And normally nowadays, when these young men come in and they're these five-star guys, they can run a 4.5 40 and they can do all this and they can throw a frozen rope. But when they get in trouble, they've never had to learn how to read a defense. And when they get in trouble, what is their first instinct? They take off running. And I think that's what DJ Lagway does. I really do. I think he's not a true pocket guy. And when he gets in trouble, he takes off running. And a lot of times when you take off running, you're putting yourself in bad situations. And I don't know. It may be the play calling like Parker's talking about, Billy Napier. I don't know. It's one of those deals, once again, where a head coach is calling plays, which I don't think he should do. I think at big-time college programs and as NFL head coaches, you need to allow somebody else to do that. You need to manage the game and manage your players, and that could be it. But I just think that these young guys that coming in, that these five-star guys that can run around, they've never been taught the position of quarterback, and they don't know how to play it.
I see you shaking your head over there.
No, I agree. There's not many guys that are like Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan who, I mean, it doesn't matter who they throw back there. They could pick you or I up off the street and go win an NFL game. There aren't many people like that anymore. And
I hear that, Kelly? Pick me up.
Hey, you did say you had a little quarterback playing experience.
Fifth grade,
right?
Parker, George lies quite a bit.
No, I have not lied.
Okay. I tell you what, though, George, we talk about quarterbacks, and I'm going to bring this kid up one more time. This Mendoza kid from Indiana, like Kurt Cignetti is obviously, he's got that program going and it's upward. And I'm not going to be surprised if they make a deep run in these playoffs because that kid is being taught the quarterback position. He gets rid of the football. He uses his brain. He knows when he's not blocked. He has to either change the protection or he has to throw hot to somebody. He does not hold the football. And there's not many people out there like that teaching that anymore. And it makes me want to watch, and it makes me feel good that there still are people out there coaching quarterbacks how to play the position.
Okay, I have yet to talk about Tennessee and Vandy. Tennessee wins in a rout at home against UAB. Vandy wins in a rout against Georgia State. Kelly, does either game tell you much of anything about either one of them?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it was personal for Vandy, though, because of what happened to them last year in Atlanta. I think they went in there, and Diego Pavia went in there with an attitude of, we're going to beat these dudes as bad as we can beat them, and that's what they did. I don't like Trent Dilfer's found out that he's not at Lipscomb Academy anymore, and he can't recruit the kids around him. Like, not many people are going to go to UAB over Alabama and Auburn. And he's finding just how hard it is to coach, and I don't know how much you can find out. I think we found out a lot about Joey Aguilar last week in the in the Georgia game. I think the kid's a good player. I think he's one of those Joes that nobody wanted, and now Josh Heupel's got him a player, and I think the people believe in him. And I think Tennessee and Vanderbilt have guys that they believe in at the quarterback position, and if you have that, you're going to win games.
By the way, on the Vandy front, I went Saturday. Probably the fullest on the press box side that I have seen the stands with Vandy people.
Wow.
Fullest. I got up and kind of looked down out of the press box. I was, whoa, not a ton of empties. On the other side, probably, I'm going to guess 1,500 empties. The students have turned out in record numbers. That's Pavia. And, Clark Lee brought it up, and I kind of noticed it a little bit when I was down on the field. The way the stadium is configured now, there's actually some crowd noise.
Nice. That's awesome, man. I watched, I watched the highlights. I didn't watch the game, but I watched the highlights, and people, hey, this young man has changed this program, George. He truly has, and I'm just interested to see, because I think they're going to do really good. They've got 6 games, like you've talked about. They've got 6 games in a row that's going to be really tough. But I think I'm just interested in to see what happens with the momentum that he's built in this Vanderbilt program, and if Clark Lee can keep it up. And I know Jerry Keel and Tim Beck and those guys are going to get somebody like a Diego Pavia that can run their offense. But it's going to be interesting to see just how many more young people are willing to come to Vanderbilt now that the transfer portal and this NIL stuff is going. Can he sustain this? And I'm thinking maybe he can.
It takes a little bit of belief, right? We saw that with Jared Goff and Dan Campbell. Nobody wanted Jared Goff. LA left him on the street out to dry. Detroit welcomed him in with open arms, and look where they are now. Kevin O'Connell and Sam Darnold turned his career around. Nobody wanted Diego Pavia. Nobody wants this 5'8" kid who says he can play quarterback. They welcomed him into Vanderbilt, and look what happened. Vanderbilt has been flipped on its head. And now I think with the success Vanderbilt's having, Diego Pavia, he may be gone next year, or I don't know, he may apply for a 19th year of eligibility. Who's to say he won't? But I think with Vanderbilt going forward, it's a destination. People are going to want to go there because of what Diego Pavia was able to do.
Well, the big question in their program is if he's gone at the end of the year, and by all accounts, we think he is. This lawsuit gives you at least some wonderment, which then begs the question, okay, are you allowed to play when you're 50, when you're 60? Who knows? Anyway, we're going to go to the break, and then I want to toss it out to you all. Throw it open at 615-759-9949. One of the things that I'd like one or two of you to jump in on is this. Is the Titans thing going to get any better realistically this year? I'm starting to think the answer is no. But I'm curious how some of you all feel. Anyway, again, 615-759-9949. Hit the phones. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
Last, the people around it make it even better. And you know what? They've got a staff that will make sure you have a good time. So don't wait. Go have some bowling fun at Strike and Spare, the official home of the... Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456 7983 or log on to DonleyTimmons.com.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
Making your benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today, pancoastbenefits.com, or call them at 615-292-3400. Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com.
ESPN Radio lives here. Your sports live here on ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
We are back on this Monday afternoon. We're going to open up some phone lines. I think we've got a couple that are open. I want to get your reactions to any number of things that you might have seen over the weekend. That's why we call it Reaction Monday. And so I'm looking for some red-blooded Americans who want to do some yapping at 615-759-9949. Right off the bat, very concerned about where the whole Titans thing is headed. The disorganization and the lack of talent has turned this into a dumpster fire. Tony in Nolensville, you are up first. Welcome in. Tony, are you there? Okay, whatever the case, we're not getting the phone calls.
Here we don't have Tony.
No, I'm pretty sure we've got Tony. Tony's a regular. Let's try Eric then on line 2 if Tony's not in. Eric, are you there? Okay, it appears that nothing's happening for the moment. So I'm in a little bit of a stall. If there's a caller there back at the station, we're not hearing anything on our end the way you normally would when a caller comes through. So if you would put that caller up where we can hear him, let's try it again with Tony. Tony in Nolensville, are you there? Okay, this is fun. I don't know what to tell the callers other than I don't know what to tell the callers. So while we stall around for a moment, got a really good football game tonight. Okay, apparently it's not working on the station's end, and so they're working on it. To the callers who are there, hang with me for a couple of minutes, and hopefully we will get this solved. Parker, we got a great game tonight. Detroit and Baltimore ought to be an absolute war.
Yeah, no, 2 Super Bowl contenders, might I add. I think that Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, two quarterbacks that are Lamar's elite. Jared Goff is kind of on the outside looking in. Will he be able to kick the door down this year? How will the Lions offense look for a second consecutive week without Ben Johnson? They seem to have figured it out last week. They're going up against one of the best defenses they will play all year, and we get a great Monday night game in week 3.
Yeah, the Ravens are about a 4.5-point favorite. I'll have a play on that later when we get to Plaster Bet of the Day. Again, we're kind of working through some stuff according to the station, not working on our end, working on it. So why don't we just, for the moment, go to the break, see if we can get this done, and we'll be back. Those of you on the line, do me a favor, hang in there. Don't go away, because I want to bring you up after the break. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall.
Here's Officer Darren Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join MNPD.com. Feel free to reach out to us, because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday.
Love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. The George Plaster Show gets advertisers the results they're looking for. For example, here's Metro Nashville Police Officer Darren Hoskins.
You hear me all the time on the show talk about changes in career, people looking to serve their community and get into law enforcement and join a great department. And I just so happened to meet an individual who heard my segment on your show, has already applied, has come from multiple different career paths, and has always had this dream. And we're very glad to have them. That's just going to be the start of many.
If you want to be part of the Plaster Show advertising family, it's simple. Just email me, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Again, plastergeorge@gmail.com. We will fit your budget and your needs. Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Okay, we are back on this Monday afternoon. I'm told we've got the phones working, and so I'm looking for a couple more of you to jump in with whatever may be on your mind over the weekend. 615-759-9949. Tony in Nolensville, appreciate your patience. Welcome.
Hello, George. Hello, Kelly and Parker.
How you doing?
Well, George, I just want to know, is your middle name Kelly by chance?
No, it is not. It's Thomas.
Well, I was just wondering, you've got one on there with a first name Kelly, one on there now with a last name Kelly. I said, sure as the hell, George's middle name isn't Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Parker, you're doing a good job. Just put the seatbelt on and light your hair on fire. It's been some of those kind of days, and they come and go. You know that in this business.
Hey, Tony, we're working through it. We will get through it eventually. It's just day one.
I know you will. You always do. You're with two good guys right there. Guys, I don't know if y'all have talked a lot about the deception play in the past, and there is, Kelly, like we all know in football, you run misdirection plays, you do things to confuse defenses and all. That's one thing. But when you run a illegal deception play where you do what, as like say they did, try to take the guy off the field, he might not even kill, he might not even left the field, but he walked off the field like he was going over there and all. Just the whole concept of it. And guys, if you go back and look at that play, he was the only man that went out, the only receiver that went out in the pass pattern. There was nobody else that went into a pass pattern whatsoever. So it was clearly a deceived, illegal deception play, and it benefited Oklahoma. Before that, though, if you remember, Oklahoma had fumbled a football earlier in the game. Auburn picked it up and scooped in 6. And it was called back that the guy's knee was down. So that's 14-point swing right there that Oklahoma got out of 2 plays that should have gone Auburn's way. Auburn should have walked off that field the other day with a victory. I just feel that way. I watched the game, and that's just what I saw. Now,
I think it's one of the all-time worst screwings that I've seen a college football team have. That said, I'm not a Hugh Freeze fan. I wouldn't trust him as far as you can throw him. But I thought his team got royally hosed, and I would assume that officiating crew may not be working again this week.
True. And if that's not enough, George and Kelly, this was captured on TV. You hadn't seen nothing about it. But the offensive coordinator, when Hugh Freeze was going off on the officials, the offensive coordinator is on the Oklahoma side flipping off like across the field to Hugh Freeze. He's giving him the middle finger salute.
Really? There's some sportsmanship for you.
It's done indiscreetly. George, I've got a picture of it. I can send it to you.
Please do.
Pretty plain what he was doing.
Yeah. Well,
guys,
maybe he was saluting Auburn.
Maybe he was. Maybe he was telling them they were going to go for 1 point. What this extra point?
Or you're number one.
Right. Now, guys, George, we've been talking about Vanderbilt, and I said the other day on here, Vanderbilt will be 5-0 going into Alabama. I still believe that. They're going to have a tough test with Utah State coming in here 3-1. But let me give you a quick little history about this. George, me and you go back way back following Vanderbilt. And I'm going to be real quick about this. In 41 years ago, Kelly, 1984, Vanderbilt started off 4-0, got ranked, ended up going 1-6 the rest of the year. 1999, they started 3-1 with an early loss to Alabama. They went 2-5 rest of the year. In 2005, they started 4-0, got ranked, ended up going, they lost 6 straight, and then finally beat UT in that year. Ended up 5-6. 2007, started 3-1, ended up with the rest of the season 2-6. 2008, started 5-0, ended up regular season 6-6. The history is there. George and I have lived through it. That's why we do have some reservations about Vanderbilt and where they are now with this good season they have. It is a different team, but that's why we keep our caution guard up, because we've been here so many times before, and we've got to keep our caution guard up. For the Vandy fans that are all excited and everything, like we are, it's exciting times. But you've got to stay grounded. We've got to keep our caution guard up and just know that, this is one year we don't want history repeating itself. So I'm going to leave you on that. Parker, welcome aboard. You're going to love it. Tony Basilio's going to eat your butt out tomorrow. You'll probably get ready for that. But anyway, though, just thought I'd call on to holler at you. See you guys.
See you, Tony.
Okay.
Aren't you glad to be part of this?
Oh, yeah. What did I get roped into?
I don't know. Think again. Eric, line 2, you are next.
Hey, George, before I get to football, one thing I do have to mention, guys. 2 or 3 weeks ago, George, I thought the Reds were dead as far as playoffs. Now they're tied with the Mets, and the playoffs will start today. They make it. And I was so happy but stunned the fact that, and of course, Tony did mention this, the Reds swept the Cubs in a 4-game series. It started with a 1-0 win and ended with a 1-0 win. What are the odds of that? But I'm still not totally cheering about the fact they're going to be in the playoffs, because they play the Pirates and then they play the team that's been their kryptonite, the Brewers, to end the season, and they've lost 13 straight series. So that's why I can't get excited about them playing the Brewers. I always get nervous. And so
now's the time, Eric. Now's the time to get excited. I mean, look, the Mets have sure helped them. The Mets have taken the gas. They have absolutely taken the gas. But you know what?
Yeah, and they started series.
There's something about Terry Francona that's good.
Yeah.
So if you get in, enjoy it.
Yeah. George, a few other things. First of all, I think I introduced you to him, a past friend of mine who wears glasses, ball guy, when you met him at Martin's Barbecue, I guess about a year or two ago. He's a huge Auburn fan, so I know he is really upset because I talked to him Sunday. It's not too thrilled with what happened. They definitely got screwed. But as far as some other things and a couple of the quick football things, George, I'll get off. First of all, as far as the Titans, George, I'm not a fire the coach guy, but you can't defend what happened Sunday with the whole field goal thing. The tackling was pitiful. That was another thing. And the fact that, like Danny Dimes had a shot to get him for a sack and a loss, and he ran for 17 yards first down. The pitiful tackling on the Jonathan Taylor touchdown run where it broke about like 3 or 4 tackles, and where other times just throwing pass out in the flat or for short yards, break for runs. But then it was distressing to hear where I guess it was Michael Pittman said that they were flat, and then players admit in the locker room. That's not a good sign. So, we're hearing that. You don't think it's get better. You hope, but just don't like hearing that, George. And 2 other quick things. And George, I know you're going to probably mention about betting later. I tell you what, if you were an NFL guy and you were betting on games yesterday, there were 3 games that probably drove you nuts yesterday, where they were covering the spread or losing the spread. The Rams and the Eagles, where the Rams had a 26-7 lead. Eagles came back. Then they get 2 back-to-back field goals blocked, and you're still covering the spread, but then they ran it back for a touchdown the last play, and then the Eagles covered the spread. The Tampa Bay Jets game, where Tampa Bay was leading 23-6, they were comfortably cover the spread, and then, of course, the Jets come back, take the lead, and Tampa Bay has to win on the last second field goal. But I know that really people pulling their hair out was the Green Bay-Cleveland game, where Green Bay led 10-0, covering the spread, 6.5, 7.5 points, and then Cleveland scored the last 13 points to win. And part of that was the Jordan Love interception late. And as far as tonight, I think the Ravens are going to win. The last two times they played Detroit, they won. I guess the game in Detroit where Justin Tucker was their former kicker, kicked like a 66-yard field goal to win in Detroit. But then there was another game, regular season game, where they destroyed them something like 37-41-10. And the last two times Baltimore's played on Monday night, I think last year they beat Tampa Bay by a couple of touchdowns. And if you remember, there was a Christmas night Monday night game to play against the 49ers, and they destroyed them. I think the Ravens are something like 22-2 or 24-2 against the NFC. And Lamar Jackson, I heard the stat where he's got like 57 touchdowns and only like 3 or 4 picks. So he usually dominates and plays well when they play against the NFC team. George, I'll get off, let you get some other callers. Take care, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Kelly, you got anything you want to chime in there? I know you just got back in here.
Yeah, I think Eric's right, man. I think that Baltimore is one of the top-tiered teams in the league. I think Detroit's good, but I don't know if that's a great matchup for Detroit. I just think watching Lamar Jackson, they let one get away from him in Buffalo when they let Buffalo come back and beat them just because of the Derrick Henry fumble, and I'm sure Derrick Henry is possessed now. And he was possessed in that game, but I'm sure he's possessed now to right that wrong. And I just think the Baltimore Ravens, the way that Lamar Jackson works and the way that he's learned how, we talk about playing the position, the way that he's learned how to play the position, I want him to get one. I want Josh Allen to get one. It's a shame that they're both in the AFC and they're going to have to play each other when it comes crunch time again. But I want one of them, these two teams right now to dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Kansas City Chiefs aren't playing well. But I would like both of those guys to win a Super Bowl.
Okay. It looks like I got a couple of lines open. I'm going to take a call here in just a second, but you can jump in as well at 615-759-9949. But jump in quick. Lucky Lindy in Lebanon. What makes you lucky?
Oh, George, that's a old story, but it goes way back to my high school days playing golf on the golf team, and that's just one of those stories that takes a while to tell. But my comment for today, George, you could go into your SEC football romper room for a couple minutes while I talk to Kelly.
Do it, yes, sir.
If he can hear me, yeah, Kelly.
I got you. Yep.
This is one of my favorite sporting events. This is my number one sporting event, and that is the Ryder Cup this week. And I know you're probably going to be watching. It's Ryder Cup week. But my question to you is, do we have a chance to beat this European team? Because I've got a feeling that we're not going to be able to do it. The atmosphere in New York is going to be wild. It's going to be great. And if we can get off to a pretty good start, I think we've got a chance. But their team's solid, and I'm just pretty nervous about it. I don't know, but I was just wanting to know what you think about it and how you think it's going to go. And I appreciate you guys taking my call, and we'll listen offline. Thanks.
Well, this is, I'm a big golfer, obviously, in the Ryder Cup. We have not done very well in the Ryder Cup when we played the Europeans the last, I don't know how many years, but I seem to think that we are. I think we've got some new guys on the team. I think we got Scotty Scheffler. Now, Scotty Scheffler hadn't played well in this, but I think Scotty Scheffler's the guy, and I think he's playing well. For some reason, we used to beat these guys all the time, and then here of late, man, it's just it's been harder and harder, and the Europeans have a good team. I mean, Tommy Fleetwood's playing really well. Rory's, I don't know what happened to Rory after he won the green jacket in Augusta, but it seems like he's kind of plateaued a little bit and taking a little back seat. But I just think with some of the new guys that we got playing, I know that DeChambeau's going to play. I think JT's he's been playing good golf this year, and I think some of the new guys, Harris English has been playing well. I think we got a chance. I don't really go on your. I really, when I look at it, I think we've got some guys that hasn't been there, and I think they're hungry, and I think that it's not the same old guys every year, and I just think we got an excellent chance. I really do, to beat them, but we've got to do it. We got to go out on the course and do it, and I think Scotty Scheffler is the guy. I was watching something a couple of weeks ago when, Tiger and Phil were matched up, and everybody thought Tiger and Phil, and they didn't win a match. And sometimes that's how it goes in the Ryder Cup, but I just think we've got guys on our team this year that have not been given anything, and they're kind of little bulldogs, and I think that's going to help us. I think we're going to win it this year. I certainly hope so.
Okay, Ryan in Brentwood is our final call. Ryan, welcome in.
What's going on, guys?
Good. How about you?
Doing well. If they hire Nick Saban or John Gruden for the head coach, I'm all for Kelly Holcomb being the quarterback coach for the Titans. Is that any way possible we can do that?
That is definitely a negative. I am out of that business. I don't want to be in that business. And people don't understand, too, because I've coached in high school, but I've never coached at the pro level. So I'm going to have to start, and I'm going to have to bring Nick. If Nick Saban was the coach, I'd have to bring him his coffee because I'd be a quality control guy, and I'm just not going to do that.
All right. Well, I'm going to affirm that you're going to be the quarterback coach. I'm going to do whatever I can possible to get you on the staff.
Okay, we'll try, but guess what? When they ask me, I'm going to tell them a no.
Okay.
Sorry, Ryan.
All right. I don't take no for an answer.
Okay.
So, Kelly, let me ask you this. If you've got a head coach who is calling plays,
yeah,
offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, what are they doing?
That's a good. I think when you're the head coach, and I don't know if the head coach is going there because I've never been. I never had that experience, George. But I think a lot of times, from what I've heard, if you're a head coach and you've got an offensive coordinator, I think the offensive coordinator runs the meetings, and then the quarterback coach. Obviously the head coach and the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach are all in the same deal together, but. I've never had that experience, George, so I don't really know how that works. And I really don't think it does work. There's been some guys that can do it. I guess George, I guess Bill Walsh did it out in San Francisco a long time ago. I know people have tried it, but I think it's just gotten so detailed in the game nowadays, and you just have to manage people, George. I don't think it's a good fit, and I don't think everybody can do it. I don't think there's any more Andy Reids out there who did it well for a long time. He's got a coordinator now, and I'm sure when big plays come up, he gets involved. The guy from Minnesota, he does a good job doing it. I just think that's too much on a plate for a head coach because you lose the little things in a game where we're seeing right now that he's learning the hard way. You have to, in situations in the game, you have to be ready to make those decisions, and you have to have people telling you. You have to have an analytical guy up in the box telling you certain things that, hey, we shouldn't do this, or we should go for it, or hey, maybe you think about punting right here, because I think the other day, if you look at it from a perspective of coaching, we're going backwards right now. They just called a timeout. We had to call a timeout with the clock stopped, and now we take a 5-yard penalty. Just punt the ball and say, hey, we're going to get out of this mess right here. We're going to go into the locker room with a little bit of momentum. But then you give the Indianapolis Colts, and they don't need much momentum because the way they're playing offensively right now, I don't know if anybody can stop them. So that's two bad decisions he's made in the first 3 games, and that's why I just don't think a head coach needs to be the play caller.
Before we go to the break, about 30 minutes ago, the Braves sent this out. They have today signed right-handed pitcher Charlie Morton to a major league contract. That has me scratching my head. They let him go in free agency a year ago. He started out in Baltimore. He ended up in Detroit after a trade. Must have gotten released by Detroit in the last day or so, and the Braves picked him up. And I guess I'm kind of asking myself, why? Okay, I don't have the answer. This is the George Plaster Show.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
Brought to you by Window Nation. Get 2 free windows when you buy 2 at windownation.com.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bobus looking at the forecast going toward the afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms likely on and off throughout this afternoon into the evening, and there is a low-end threat. The damaging wind could be with 1 or 2 of these storms. Highs in the upper 80s.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
The wait is over. The largest sports book in Kentucky is now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs. Feel the rush of every play in a venue built for sports fans. Catch all your favorite games with an 80-foot screen, stadium-style seating, and live daily broadcasts from VSiN, the sports betting network. Plus, download the Circa Sports Kentucky mobile app today and start betting like a pro anywhere in Kentucky. The largest sports book in Kentucky, Circa Sports, is now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
Acura's all-new ADX, a compact SUV precision crafted for everything. Crafted to see more with an available ultra-wide pano moonroof, to go with your flow with available Google built-in, and to be heard with an available Bang & Olufsen premium sound system. The all-new Acura ADX, crafted to match your energy. Acura, precision crafted performance. Google is a trademark of Google LLC.
Experience the thrill at Gary Force Acura, proud sponsor of the Nashville Predators. GaryForceAcura.com.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I'm not saying it's his fault, okay? I'm not blaming Joe Burrow. That offensive line is absolutely putrid. In the same breath, Joe Burrow signed up for that offensive line because he's the one that decided he wanted to play general manager this offseason. So this is a situation of his own making in terms of how this roster is constituted, the pieces that are around him.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. Hey, did you miss Clinton and Friends?
Let's focus on the Bears of this year. Caleb Williams, the whole team, 0-2. Is it time to start panicking in Chicago?
No, but it's time to stop caring if you're not in Chicago. I'll tell you that much. They are quickly sliding out of the why should I care relevancy window. The Caleb Williams situation is starting to get very worrisome on a lot of levels.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
When you're all in for game day, Electronic Express has you covered with the largest selection of in-stock appliances and TVs that put you right in the action. For a limited time, feed your game day crowd with an LG kitchen built for tailgating at home. Plus, get a free 65-inch smart TV when you buy 2 or more qualifying LG appliances. Shopping local comes with perks, like free delivery and up to 24 months of interest-free financing. Visit us in-store or online at electronicexpress.com. We've got that.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan. A Cromwell media station.
You know, I was wondering if you keep on because...
Now time for our plaster bet of the day, brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. Let's review real quickly. So this is where you sit at, George, right at 43, 43-1, an exact 500 record.
Yeah, and I'm pretty happy because, Kelly, I was down most of last week, but I was 5-2-1 over the weekend. So there.
And that's really unfortunate for those of us that want you to lose. So,
yeah, thanks a lot. Nice sportsmanship.
Yeah. No problem.
Here's something else for you to chew on. For all of the reasons that got mentioned earlier by Eric, among other things, we're going Baltimore tonight. Baltimore at home is a real bear. No Chicago pun intended. I'm going to take the Ravens tonight minus the 4. And honestly, I look for them to jump all over Detroit early.
Yeah, I think they will too.
The
I think
early
they're better.
storm They probably, hang tough, perhaps win. But if Baltimore jumps out hot, not good, then I win. Kelly,
I agree.
Enjoy your evening.
Parker, you owe us $100 for screwing everything up to begin with. So we'll just put that in a pot, and then we'll go to, we'll go to Morton's or someplace else. I don't know, but just leave $100 with George.
We'll see how it goes tomorrow. We'll see how it goes.
Rebate time. We're out of here. All straightened out. See you tomorrow.